morning, class. As you know, we're planning a field trip to the Go by Bike bike shop in Portland, Oregon. When we get there, we're going to be renting some bikes and riding around the city. I'm not sure how much you all know about riding a bike, so today I'm going to go through some basics, starting with our helmets. The Go by Bike shop has helmets just like this. To begin with, you want to make sure it fits your head. My head is kind of big, so I have a size medium in adults, but there are a range of sizes we can look at once we get to the bike shop. Once you've put your helmet on, you want to make sure that your forehead is covered. If you should fall off your bike, you want the back of your head to be covered as well as your forehead. Again, you want to make sure there's not too much room between your chin and the strap. Right now you can see there's too much room. If I were to fall, this could just fall right off my head. So you're going to want to tighten it, and I'll show that to you next. As you can see now, there's very little space between my chin and the strap, and I can't get my strap over my chin. That's right where you want it, nice and snug. There's another place that you want to check once you have your helmet on, and that's located in the back of your helmet. There should be a little strap that you can tighten. Again, you want it to be as tight as you can have it while still being comfortable so that your helmet will stay snug. Finally, you want to shake your helmet on your head and make sure that it's not going anywhere. If you can shake it and it doesn't fall off, you're good. The next thing we're going to look at after we have our helmets on tight is our wheels. We want to make sure that our tires are pumped up and ready to go. Nobody wants to ride on flat tires. You'll become exhausted, and it's not really that safe. So let's go ahead and check our tires. So, looking at our bike, we're going to want to check our front and our back tires. It's important that both are pumped up to a certain amount. Now, once you have a pump, you might ask, how do I know how much I fill up my tires? Well, it's quite easy. Inside your tire, there should be a spot where it tells you how much to fill it up. It's usually located on the inside of your tire. So twirl your tire around until you find out exactly how much you have to fill your tire. You'll see the letters P, S, and I. PSI refers to how much you want to fill your tires. If you happen to be without a pump or something to figure out exactly how much air your tires have in them, you can give them a quick squeeze with your hand. If they're nice and firm and you can't squeeze them and have much give, then you're probably good to go. They're going to be good to ride on. So now you have your helmet on tight, you've checked your tires to make sure that they're not flat and that you have plenty of air in them. Next up is going to be your saddle. Now, saddle is just kind of a fancy word for your seat, your bike seat. There's a couple important things to remember when you're setting up your bike seat or your saddle. Your saddle should be about the height of your hip. So if you were to come stand next to your saddle or your bike seat, the top of the saddle should come to about where your hip is. If it's a little too low or a little too high, you're going to want to fix it using this latch. Most of the bikes we're going to use on our field trip are going to have this kind of latch. You're simply going to undo it, open it up. There's another little twist back here that you're going to twist, and then you should be able to move your saddle up and down depending on where you need it. And once you're done, you're going to twist the back up again and close it up. It's really simple. So now we have our helmets on tight, we've checked our tires to make sure they have air, and we have looked at our saddles and made sure that they're a good height for us. Now all you really need to do is take a look around your bike and just make sure everything looks good. You want to make sure that nothing's loose and it looks ready to go. And when we're on our field trip, the owner of the bike shop is probably going to do that for us. But it's good to know when you get on your bike at home, if you ride at home, that you should give it a quick look and just make sure everything's okay. So I'm just going to start with my bike and look around, make sure my brakes are braking right, feels good. Check my other brake, feels good. Look at my saddle, make sure I made this nice and tight. Ooh, it's tight. Look at my pedals, make sure they're on okay, they're good, not going to come off. I'm going to look at my chain and make sure there's no sticks or twigs or grass in it. My chain's looking good. And also look at your rear derailleur. That's what this is called. You also want to make sure that it's clear of any debris, sticks, twigs, grass. Because this is what runs your whole bike. This is your engine, that and your legs. Taking a look at my fenders, which I need to keep me dry in the Portland rain. So now we've put on our helmets, made sure they're nice and snug. We've checked our tires, made sure they're filled up with air. We've checked our saddle, make sure it's a good height for our height. And we've checked our bike all throughout to make sure nothing's too loose. There are no sticks or twigs in our chains, and all of our spokes are in place, and everything's looking good. And hopefully we'll have somebody at the bike shop take a look at all of our bikes too, and get a double thumbs up, and we're ready to go. Now, there are some important things to remember out on the road. We're going to be riding around the south waterfront of Portland, Oregon. We're going to be riding exclusively in bike lanes. Now, we're going to be riding next to cars, but we have a separate bike lane, and you'll see a little picture of a bike in that lane, and that's where we're going to stay. But there are some things to remember. We're going to have to make some turns, both left and right. And next I'm going to show you how to make those turns. We're not going to go out there and just make a turn and not tell anybody what we're doing. We have some very specific signals we're going to make. So next up I'm going to show you a left and a right turn and how to signal for that. Alright, so when we're stopped at an intersection, first of all you want to make sure that you have both of your feet planted on the ground. Should we see a police officer, they're going to want to see both of your feet on the ground when we stop at a stop sign. Let's say we're going to go left. If you want to go left, you're going to want to put your right hand up, kind of like a half U, and that means we're going to go left. If we want to go right, we're going to put our left hand up. That means we're going to go right. So remember, the opposite of where you're going is the arm you're going to put up. So for the right, or going left, put your right hand up. Going right, put your left hand up. And that's all you really need to know about turning. I can't wait for our field trip. It's going to be great. Happy riding!